A very good morning to all of you. Myself, Professor Dhaval Chandarana, and as we know that we are continue on our unit number 5, Cyber Ethics of Cyber Law and Ethics subject. Guys, today we will conduct a third lecture of this particular unit. On our previous lecture, or we can say in second lecture of unit number 5, we will discuss a two different topic of unit number 5 known as a significances of a cyber ethics, and a second one we will discuss a need of cyber law and ethics. So in short, we will summarize a second lecture of unit number 5. We can say that everyone are rightly moved to his or her personal business, governments, education system, and the personal growth. It should be moved from the offline into the internet platform. So guys, whenever we discuss anything regarding a cyberspace, cyber law is always be there, because everyone right now they are converting a transactions, all these activities, education system, government platforms, all should be converted from the harder copy data to the softer one. So many legal issue will be available whenever we converted our hard copy data into the softer form. So at that time we aware about what are the different issues will be there and how we can aware about those kind of issues which be happened in concept of cyber law. So guys, on our previous lecture we will discuss the different concept about what was the actual requirement of cyber law and ethics subject. So as we know that today we will discuss a third lecture of unit number 5. In this particular lecture we will discuss a two different concept as a ethic in information society, as what was the actual requirement of ethics in nowadays, and the later on we will discuss the introductions to a latest IT industries or computer industries which depends on the artificial intelligence. We will concern artificial intelligence in form of ethics. So guys, for the today's lecture we will discuss a two different concept about ethics and a latest technology regarding a different ethic concept. So we'll start with the today's lecture in form of ethics in an information society. What was the actual things which we are aware about the ethics, and how we can regularly implement it, or we can follow the different ethics through which we can helpful to the society as well as for our country. Information ethics has been defined as the branch of ethics that focused on the relationships between a creation, organizations, disseminations, and the use of informations, and the ethical standards and a moral codes governing a human conducts in a society. Because whenever we discuss any part of society, the human beings are mandatory things to represent his or her responsibility against the society. And as we know that ethics, it is the moral responsibility about any human beings which we are awareness of how to help the particular society or how they can improve the society, which should be helpful in for future use. So whenever we discuss in concept of ethics in a cyber law, first we will discuss what is the actual requirement where a society will be improved in form of information technology. It examines the morality that comes from the information as a resources, a product, or a targeted. Guys, this is the century about informations, because information is the most and prior things to aware about a current scenario and current era. So it is the 2020 century, but in an alternative way we can say that it is the era of the information technology. And for that we will discuss about the resources where the information will be retrieved, product, how we can introduce a latest informations and to create a new product in a market, so through which a society will be improved his or her day-to-day life, as well as we can say it is a nothing but a targeted system through which we can define how to use a latest product to helpful a different society, so they can improve his or her betterment of life as well as for the future enhancement. Information ethics is a field of applied ethics that address the use of abuses of information technology, and the information system for the personal, professionals, and a public decisions making. As we discussed in previous line, today is the era of the informations, and if you are using a latest and a creative informations, then it should be really helpful for your personal life, your professional life, as well as we can say is that it is a really helpful for the public decisions making. So it's indirectly we can say it is the helpful against your society where you actually lived as well as your family is belongs to. For example, is it the okay to download a someone else in actually property like a pictures or a music? Because nowadays we will done so many time and everyone are doing the same thing, or we can say everyone are doing the same mistake without taking a permissions from the owner's information. We can use it, we can download it, and we can represent in form of we can theft of identity who are actually owner, and we can use of this particular informations like a property of movies, picture, and also. So it is a legal one or not. First we done a question from ourselves. We can do it this things which is a legal one or not. If we are aware about that, the particular things which we are doing in ourselves on a regular life, it is illegal one or not legal. Then also we can helpful to the society in concept of informations on a ethical way. So the classical topic on the informations ethics are privacy, identity, trust, justice, intellectual properties, cyber war, the surveillance societies, plagiarisms, censorships, genders issue, and the information overload. All the things should be part over the ethics in the information society. And we will aware about lots of things, lots of words which we are using on a day-to-day life. So I will not go through the each and every word, but I will just give you one thing that if you are using informations on an illegal way, then it is a part of some of the things which we are discussing in a classical topic of information ethics. It also deals with the economical and a political impact on the information technology. We know that how they can impact on an economical in form of countries, how to effect a political impact on a concept of information technology. If on any political person we can speech any unethical informations we can use directly from the owner sides without any kind of permission, so it should be a take a more impact on a political's career. So the ethical analysis and the criterion, or we can say critical evaluations of the global digital economic concerns, the relations between a transparency, privacy, and the secrecies, no less than issues of justice regarding access to and use of the internet. Guys, whatever we are retrieving information in on a one click with the help of internet, it should be a legal one to use on a personal way, on a professional way, or we can say on a control base. First we know that it is a legal or not. If we found that it is the legal thing, then and then we just use those kind of informations which are available freely on the internet. But guys, lots of informations we are available on a free on the internet, it is not a legal informations. And if you are using those information on your personal and private use, it should be a really harmful for your life, for your future, for your family, as well as for your societal. So the information ethics provides a framework, or we can say architectures, for the critical reflections on the creations, control, and the use of information. Means they can just provide the basic structures through which you can easily identify that the particular information is really useful for our personal use, private use, or we can say if we are using those information on a public way, then it should be a legal one or not. It should be defined on a framework. It should be defined in a concept of structures through which we can easily identify it should be a legal or it should be an illegal way. It raises the questions about information's ownerships and the access to intellectual property, the rights of peoples to read, to explore the World Wide Web as then chosen. Because there are the lots of informations available on the internet. Which one is the best one? Which information is relevant with our search? Which information is really helpful for our society, for our country? It should be a prior thing to justify the particular information. It should be valid one or not. So the prior thing, whenever we use those informations which are available on internet, the basic requirement is we will select a best and a legal information which is available on the internet. And it is the basic things whenever we require to identify ethics in an information society. Information ethics encompass a wide range of issues involving the creations, acquisitions, organizations, a management, translations, duplications, storage, retrieval, and any other process involving the printed or the digital access, graphics, voice, and video. Guys, all the things should be part of information's ethics. And we know that what was the thing. From the perspective of information's ethic, there are the 5 important themes to be considered as a community, a group of peoples, ownerships of personal data, a personal authoritative informations, access, provide the security, provides the rights, privacy with help of authorized people only can be access those informations, and a security. This is nothing but a scope PS. Guys, you must be remember what was the ethics in information society. There are the 5 perspectives way to easily justify what was a information's ethics, and it is nothing but a COP PS. C is become a community, O is becomes ownerships, A become access, P become privacy, and the S becomes a security. You must be remember these things. Now we will discuss a second and the last point of this particular unit of this particular lecture. It is nothing but the introductions to artificial intelligence of ethics. Optimizing the logistics, detecting frauds, composing arts, conducting the research, providing the translations. Intelligence machine system are the transforming our lives for the betterments. Guys, AI is the latest and the betterments life, a technology which we are using right now, or right now era it should be part of AI. Means everything should be generated by the predefined code and it should be transferred according to the situations. Like a robot, they can feel the taste, they can smell any kind of fragrance, they can provide the answer according to the situation and according to the question, and it should be defined by the one of the programmer who can provide all this visibility and all this maximum possible way to where the actual position is where defined and how to respond it. It is nothing but a AI technology. Tech giants such as Alphabet, Amazon, Facebook, IBM and a Microsoft, as well as the individual like Stephen Hawking and the Elon Musk, believes that now is the right time to talk about the nearly boundless landscape of artificial intelligence, because nowadays everyone are using more than expectations on a technology. Means if we are expecting we can using 10% of technology on a day-to-day life, but we are currently using a 80% of technology on our day-to-day and everyday life. So for that, a big giant company are discussed about how to improve those technologies to can betterment for our society, betterment for a personal use, betterment for the organizational point of view, and how to reduce our work or man works with help of artificial intelligence. And for that, 2 scientists, the name is become a Stephen Hawking and the Elon Musk. In many ways, this is just a new frontiers, or we can say frontier for the ethics and the risk assessment, as it is for the embarking technology, or we can say a emerging technology, a new technology. So guys, whenever we discuss any new concept in form of technology, there are always be dangerous for the people who are using on a negative side. So for that, we must be discussed that if someone are using for the AI on day-to-day life, then what was the disadvantage to use those AI technology if they are using on a illegal way, on a negative sides way, or how they can take advantage whenever they are using on negative impact. So whenever any new emerging technology available or introducing on market, those who are a owner or those who are discussion scientists who can discuss those new technology, they always aware about how the technology is destroyed the world, because it is nothing but a new era of technology, and there are the lots of people are very much aware if a AI it should be a legal way, then it should be a really one biggest advantage of country, biggest advantage of society. But if this emerging technology is really destroyed the world if someone are not using on a legal concept. So it is a most important thing to introducing any new technology on the concept of new ethics. So what was the ethical challenge if AI it should be part of a new emerging technology and it is introduced on a market? Decision making and liability. As an AI use the increase, it will becomes a more difficult to approach responsibility for the decision. If mistakes are made which causes harm, who should bear the risk? Because if some human beings are doing mistakes, then we can directly blame on this particular person or particular group of peoples. But if machines doing some mistakes, then we can't blame directly or indirectly, because it should be created by lots of group, lots of people, and it should be work within the particular situation. If a situation is dynamically changed, then mistake will always be there, because machine are always be doing only those things which should be programmed by a person. So it should be a decision making and a liability. Second, a transparency always be there. When the complex machine learning system are used to making a significant decision, it may be difficult to unpick the causes behind the specific course of actions. Clear explanations for the machine reasoning are necessary to determine accountability, because whenever we want to convert our business from the human oriented to machine oriented, then all these possibility case will be defined on concept of machine, because situation is always be a dynamical one. If we are not programmed those kind of machine level situations, and situation is come under the particular situation or particular time, then machine can't handle those situations. Because if human beings are handle this particular life or particular time, they are taking a decision, they can change according to the requirement, according to the plan, according to the situation. But machine have not any kind of constraint where they are accessing or changing according to the situation. So transparency always be a challenge whenever we are using a AI on our day-to-day life. Bias. A machine learning system can entrench an existing bias in a decision-making system. Care must be taken to ensure that AI involves to be a non-discriminatory, because AI is doing only those things which should be programmed by the programmers. They are not taking any individual or independent decisions according to the time, according to the situations, and according to the requirement. So it is the one of the challenge which we are discussing if AI is introducing or use the wide range of country in form of ethics. Next ethical challenge is human values, because whenever we discuss AI, then it should be directly reflect with a human beings, because we are converting our human workload to the machine's load. Or we can say directly says that if we are transferring our business into the AI, then we can directly reduce a human being's work. So it should be a very ethically challenge, compare with the society, compare with the countries, and compare with the personals and a practical point of view. Without a programming, AI system have a no default values or a common sense, because we know that AI is just doing only those things which should be defined by the programmers. The British Standards Institute BS 8611 standards on the ethical design and the applications of robots and the robotic system provide some useful guidance. Robots should not be designed solely or a preliminary to kill or human, or we can say harm the humans. Means it should be a guideline. If you are a owner of AI, or we can say artificial intelligence, to build a robot, then you must be follow those ethics which should be defined in 8611, and it should be strictly guided that you can't develop those kind of robots which should be harm or kill a particular human beings which are live in earth. So the humans, not robots, are the responsible agents. It should be possible to find out who is responsible for any robots and its behaviors. So if you are a giant business person to use a AI in a wider range of your product, then you must be follow those rules which should be defined by a British Standard Institute 8611. And according to the guideline, you can produce a particular robots in concept of AI. So guys, it is the things which we are discussing in lecture number 3 of unit number 5 is nothing but a concept which should be defined in form of ethics and the AI ethics. I hope you are cleared. I hope you are enjoyed my lecture, and I hope you are learned some new constraint, new content or new topics through this video lecture. Thank you so much.